Professor Wexford-Bloom discovered crystalline temporal signatures embedded within a 2009 Nokia Lumia wallpaper sequence. The archive of forgotten screensavers cataloged exactly 1,047 different temporal artifacts from discarded mobile devices. Professor Wexford-Bloom's analysis revealed that swipe patterns on wallpaper sequences could trigger quantum entanglement with parallel dimensions. The Vapid Collective had already begun replacing all temporal wallpaper signatures with standardized corporate branding. Professor Wexford-Bloom noted that one particular wallpaper sequence contained the complete works of Shakespeare in reverse temporal order. The archive of forgotten screensavers discovered that users could maintain temporal signatures by performing exactly 3 daily rotation gestures. Professor Wexford-Bloom realized that the ancient ritual required precise timing of wallpaper rotation to prevent dimensional collapse. The Vapid Collective had already monetized exactly 127 different temporal signature patterns for their advertising campaigns. Professor Wexford-Bloom witnessed the Vapid Collective's first digital incursion into personal phone screens. The archive of forgotten screensavers reported 372 wallpaper variants suddenly vanishing from their collection. Professor Wexford-Bloom discovered her own phone's wallpaper had been replaced by a 2000-second animated corporate logo sequence. The Vapid Collective's marketing department announced a new mandatory 3,000 wallpaper rotation cycle for all smartphones. Professor Wexford-Bloom found her own temporal signature had been replaced by a corporate brand identity. The archive of forgotten screensavers began displaying a new category labeled Temporal Displacement, Corporate Edition. Professor Wexford-Bloom realized her phone would only display 173 different wallpaper images before requiring a new corporate update. The Vapid Collective CEO announced they had purchased 5,000 distinct phone wallpaper sequences. Professor Wexford-Bloom found the archive's digital fingerprints on every erase wallpaper. The archive of forgotten screensavers had been systematically deleting 1,080 different temporal markers. Professor Wexford-Bloom discovered the archive's new policy. All wallpapers must rotate once per hour. The archive's staff had been replacing each temporal signature with a generic corporate logo. Professor Wexford-Bloom realized the archive had been using a 15-minute countdown timer to erase signatures. The archive had been feeding erased wallpapers to the Vapid Collective for profit. Professor Wexford-Bloom found that 372 different temporal realities had been erased from the archive's collection. The archive's new protocol required users to swipe right 3 times to access any wallpaper. Professor Wexford-Bloom found the archive's curator clutching a crystalline phone displaying 3 rotating images of the same sunset. The curator's eyes flickered with temporal energy while revealing the Vapid Collective's funding of the institution. Professor Wexford-Bloom watched as the archive's curator deliberately erased temporal markers from every wallpaper in the collection. The curator's hands trembled while explaining how the rotation ritual harvested temporal energy from user swipes. Professor Wexford-Bloom discovered the curator had been secretly installing corporate wallpapers on her own phone. The curator's temporal signature flickered between 1047 and 1048 while maintaining the corporate rotation pattern. Professor Wexford-Bloom realized the archive had been secretly feeding user swipes to the Vapid Collective's energy grid. The curator's final gesture involved placing a single corporate logo over a rotating image of the moon. Professor Wexford-Bloom stared at the crystalline wallpaper sequence, showing 17 parallel timelines simultaneously. The Vapid Collective's corporate logo had replaced her beloved rotating wallpaper with a single static image. She watched the archive of forgotten screensavers curator frantically delete temporal signatures from 327 different wallpapers. Professor Wexford-Bloom realized she could only save one of the 3 parallel realities. The Vapid Collective's executives were offering $2,000 for each user to abandon wallpaper rotation. She decided to activate the ancient temporal ritual using only her finger and the rotating wallpaper. The archive of forgotten screensavers exploded in a shower of temporal markers, 57 of them falling directly onto Professor Wexford-Bloom's head. Professor Wexford-Bloom had successfully preserved one reality, but permanently erased the other 2 from existence. Professor Wexford-Bloom successfully reactivated the ancient wallpaper rotation protocol. The Vapid Collective's corporate wallpapers now exist solely within a dimensional archive. The archive of forgotten screensavers begins emitting harmonic frequencies to stabilize temporal signatures. Professor Wexford-Bloom discovers that 847 users have spontaneously begun rotating wallpapers without conscious effort. The Vapid Collective CEO appears in a temporal rift, offering to pay Professor Wexford-Bloom $2.3 million. Professor Wexford-Bloom refuses payment and instead demands the CEO learn to rotate wallpapers properly. The dimensional balance stabilizes as 9001 users resume their rotation ritual. Professor Wexford-Bloom installs a new protective layer on all smartphones in the city.